welcome to a Hero Arts video with Lucy Abrams. I'm going to talk about combining punches with digital stamps. So the first thing I did was to print out my digital images so they had time to dry. The owl is from the Hero Arts digital kit called Big Owl from twopiecindabucket.com. And one of the great things about digital kits is you can resize them to fit the size of your punch. So as I'm using a 3-inch punch here, I resized the digital image to 2.5 inches tall, so it would fit beautifully into the circle. The sentiment is from the DigiKit called the Month of March. To create the card base, I'm using some Hero Hues layering paper. This is the cerulean colour. I've already guillotined the paper in half, and now I'm going to score at 5.5 inches to make a top folding card, because I'm addicted to making top folding cards at the moment for some reason. So I've scored it, and then when you fold it, it makes a very clean, lovely finish. And to make the scallops, I'm just using some leftover paper scraps, which is a lovely way of using up the many pieces of paper I have lying around my craft room. I'm using the new EK Success scallop punch, which Jennifer Maguire managed to persuade me to buy on her blog, and I love it. It's so easy to use. If you just very carefully line the scallops up at the side, it creates a lovely straight finish. As I want to layer them, I've got to do this one at a slightly different angle, but I'm just guessing. So I've made them slightly bigger than they need to be so I can trim off the bits that I don't need. Again, just layer it up, line it up carefully, and it's very easy to use and very easy to punch a nice straight finish. And then you can see, once I hold them on top of each other, it's going to create that overlap scallop effect. So I've punched my final 2 scallops, and now I'm just going to piece it together. I use Scotch double-sided sellotape because I find it really easy to use, but I'm sure any adhesive will be absolutely fine for this. So I'm just layering the scallops on top of each other, carefully lining up one of the sides so I don't have to trim that side, and just making sure that they're all in the same place. And the final piece added here. Now I'm going to trim this down to size so it fits my card. I use a quilter's ruler and a craft knife rather than a trimmer. I'm not sure why, I just prefer it. I like being able to see through the ruler, and I find it makes a lovely clean cut. And then I'm just going to stick it to the card base, again just using some of that double-sided tape. It's my favourite type of adhesive, and it's repositionable too, which is always useful for me because I'm always getting things wrong. The final thing I did was to add some of the aqua cardstock to the top of the card. Again, I just stuck it down and then trimmed off the excess. It's really useful with a craft knife. You can stick it and then just flip your project over and cut it from behind. Once I've cut it as well, I tend to run my fingernail down the side just to smooth off the rough edges. So the next thing I'm going to do is colour in my owl image. I'm just using some Copic markers for these. I just decided to colour in the feathers at random, really, using the same colours as the rest of my card. And now I'm cutting out my image. I use Fiskars needlework scissors. I find them lovely and sharp, and they create an excellent quality finish. And the tip is to turn the cardstock rather than the actual scissors. This helps with very fine detailed cutting like the feet on this owl. So I've cut my craft cardstock down to size, and I'm going to punch the circle out of the side. So I line it up to make sure I don't accidentally go over the text, and then punch it. And I'm going to attach it to the card using foam adhesive. And I'm going to apply lots, because if I send it through the post I don't want it to get crushed. So once I've checked I've got the position right, I apply my foam adhesive. Now I've cut this down in the video because it took a long time to put the squares on and then to peel all of the backs off. So you can see that I've finished. And then I've added the ribbon and tied the ribbon on, and then finally I'm sticking it to the card. A bit of careful lining up to get the lines straight, the edges straight. And then I'm going to just fiddle with my ribbon and trim the edges down to get a nice diagonal so that the ribbon doesn't fray. And all that's left is to stick my owl to the card using some more double-sided sellotape, and it's finished.